Hey everyone, PushingUpRoses here, and today I'm going to tell you about a new, absolutely thrilling game called The Drifter. I've played a lot of great narrative-heavy games this year, but this one stood out as something special, and when I stumble upon something special, I have to tell the entire world about it, or at least my little corner of the internet. I will keep this review as spoiler-free as I possibly can, because I really want people to try this game out, but I may touch on a few larger plot points, so strap in and let's look at why The Drifter is one of the most exciting video games I've ever played. The Drifter was developed by a company named Powerhoof, which consists of two people, David Lloyd and Barney Cumming, both located in Melbourne, Australia. You might know the company from their popular dungeon crawler game, aptly named Crawl, which was released in 2017 and praised for its lovely pixelated art style, exciting gameplay, and has also been enjoyed as a multiplayer game that destroys friendships. So if you're tired of burning bridges with Mario Party games, maybe change it up with some Crawl. The Drifter, released in July of 2025, is a pivot from the dungeon crawling genre into the adventure game genre, and it was a very smart choice because such strong writing and puzzles are well suited for point and clicks. But if you think this is a casual play or a charming play like King's Quest or Monkey Island, you would be wrong. Dead wrong. This is one of the fastest moving adventure games I've ever played. It doesn't dawdle, it doesn't make you wait, it just goes and it goes hard. At one point my heart was beating so hard I thought I was having a panic attack. Turns out, I was just really excited. I can't tell the difference sometimes. You play as Mick Carter, a rough-around-the-edges vagabond who left a better life after a tragedy occurred within his family.
Familiar skyline peeks through the vents of the old reefer. City hasn't changed much in the last 5 years.
He has the most amazing voice, which contributes so much of the great quality to this game. And as an aside, he has an ex-wife named Sarah, and I can listen to this man say my name in this accent all day long. It tickles me.
Sarah, my wife. I guess ex-wife now? Jeez. What am I going to say to Sarah? Bill used to hang out around the shelter where Sarah worked. Sarah?
He's invited back to his hometown by his sister for their mom's funeral, and to get there he hops a freight train, and this is where the story begins. I'm going to shift tenses here and now refer to Mick as you, the player. So as you get to your stop, you try to wake up the other man who's been traveling with you, and to your surprise, he springs up and starts threatening you with an iron pipe.
I fall back as the iron bar whistles past my face. Hey, watch it!
Quiet! You'll get us killed again!
This is what makes the game really special to me. It's told in first person from the perspective of Mick, and it flows like a really well-written book. It's so expressive, and the first-person narration really keeps the player in the moment. Now, this isn't the first game to be told in first person, especially an adventure game, but it's certainly the first one where I was fully aware of the storytelling and how important Mick's point of view is. Some adventure game characters will respond in first person, usually in response to a command you've given them.
The receipt from the post office. Sienna, I did send your glove back.
But this one has more of a writerly structure, and it is so detailed and exciting. Because this is in the trailer, I'm not going to keep the next part from you. As you open the door to the train, the other man is violently gunned down, and you soon find yourself entangled in a dangerous state of affairs, and you're also not feeling like yourself. Early on, you die. You feel every part of your body shutting down, but you strangely come back to life, which serves as one of the main game mechanics. So, can you die in this game? Yes. And you will, because you have to. But again, it's absolutely a part of the whole thing. We've got everything in this game. We've got time travel, murder mystery, conspiracy theories, wrong man accused plot lines, paranormal shit, and themes of grief and depression. The game is separated into chapters, 9 in total, and the first 4 move fast. They moved so fast that I couldn't put it down. It really begins as a thriller with a lot of suspicious murders, disappearances, and some high-octane action sequences, but the devs were smart about the game's structure. It can't just be go, go, go the entire way through, so near the middle part of the game it slows down a little as you open up new settings and get a map you can use to quick travel. The slower sections allow you to explore and interrogate the characters with topics that populate a little tray at the top of the screen. You can mouse over them and read more about them. These topics update as you play the game, so you always have a direction, a reminder, or an objective to think about. You're also doing fetch quest and inventory object puzzles because this is still a point and click. Sometimes it doesn't feel like one, sometimes it feels like I'm just watching some crazy movie and guiding the plot, but it does have puzzles and I did enjoy them. Like many other adventure games, I dare say all adventure games, there are some clunkers. Like at one point I had to use a leaf blower to blow down an umbrella from a ledge, and breaking into this little room in a cemetery was a whole thing, but overall, I like how the game played. I wouldn't call the puzzles obtuse, but you do have to be very observant and make sure you find all of the interactable things on the screen. The game design also demands you play realistically. It's not likely you're going to do things out of order or before a character really knows what to do. Mick needs to have an idea before he follows through with it, even if you know what to do to progress. This exploratory section of the game very much feels like some of the slower parts of Gabriel Knight, where you visit hotspots several times over to solve puzzles and get to know characters. The other mechanic, as I mentioned before, is similar to a time travel mechanic. You don't control when you go back, however. It happens when you die at certain points of the story. When you die, you need to solve a puzzle to go back in time a little bit, so the idea is that you're likely going to need to fail at some of these puzzles in order to figure out how to complete them. And that makes sense because Mick actually retains his memories after he's, quote, resurrected. I understand that this can be a frustrating mechanic. There is a part where I died so many times that I thought I was in an unwinnable situation, but nope, this is a game of trial and error. So get ready to die. A lot. After this slow section where you're unraveling things and collecting evidence, it gets spicy again. It's paced well. The dev knew where to give the player time to breathe and, calm down. After a long calming period where I thought things were finally okay, it picks back up and throws us into a dangerous cult-like situation with some paranormal elements. Usually a pivot like this would irritate me. Just as an example of a similar design, I played a game called Crime Stories by the Adventure Game Company when it came out, and that's a game that starts you out as a detective looking into some weird things, and it goes entirely unhinged and paranormal. I had no idea what the hell was going on. It was just bizarre and jarring, and honestly disappointing, because I wanted it to keep being this hard-boiled detective story, or a crime story, if you will. It's like the Beast situation in Beauty and the Beast. You spend so much time getting to love the Beast that when he turns back into a human at the end, it's like, ew, no, I don't want that. Go back to being the Beast. So yeah, all that to say, it didn't work in Crime Stories, and maybe that's because there wasn't a great lead-up. Gabriel Knight and Kathy Rain also follow this structure. They begin with more of a murder mystery vibe, and at the end get completely unhinged. A movie that does this very well is The Changeling, starring George C. Scott, which marries thriller and horror perfectly. So sometimes stories do work like this, sometimes they flop. I was afraid I wouldn't like where the Drifter went, but actually I liked it a lot, and that's because the story keeps you in the loop early on, even if it's not explicit until the later parts of the game. I wouldn't call this a comedy game, but it does have a great sense of humor about it. I like Mick's gruff voice and stubborn personality. He's like this very street-smart character who knows more than anyone how to survive. He's got real savoir-faire, like Dodger and Oliver and Company. But he's pretty much in the dark about technology and interpersonal relationships. One of my favorite moments in this game was when I needed to use a computer, but I couldn't because it needed a boot disk.
Error. No boot disk has been detected or the disk has failed.
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
That made me laugh so hard, not just because of delivery, but because of the times when I was younger and I needed a boot disk and I was like, what?
What the hell is even that?
There are also shocking parts to this story that will keep you on your toes, and when I say shocking, I mean that as I was playing, something happened that made my eyes go wide, my hand go up to cover my mouth, and quietly say, oh no. You get attached to the characters, and the animations are just so fluid, it makes tragic things powerful to watch. I also want to point out how expressive the characters are, even though they're just a clump of pixels. Just a slight change in their eye design gives them so much personality. I really feel like Mick is freaking out here. I know I already mentioned how great Mick's voice actor is, but really, the entire game is voiced very well. Mick just stands out because he's the one you spend the most time with, and he's also the narrator.
You know you smell like a sewer, right? Anyone would think you're the one that died.
I barely suppress a smile.
You'll stay now you're back, right?
But there it is. That dreaded question.
The music is also lovely and fitting, though I should say I feel like a broken record when I discuss music in adventure games these days. It's just always done really well. I can't even name an instance where I felt a game had a crap soundtrack, so sorry if I sound redundant. It's not my fault game composers are being amazing these days. If I had to compare this game to something else, just to give you guys an idea of what to expect, I think I would choose Disco Elysium. Now, hear me out, because I do know how different they are, but the main characters share a lot of similarities. They're both tough and gritty, down on their luck, bad at relationships, particularly with their ex-wife, and they're working to solve a mystery in a pretty rundown setting. There's just a similar vibe here that I couldn't help but notice. Some of the more paranormal sequences are reminiscent of Stranger Things or a Stephen King story, especially near the end where you become a part of this motley crew trying to solve puzzles and navigate through harrowing situations. So if you like that kind of energy and atmosphere, then I think you'll really enjoy this game. I actually cover it way more in depth over on my podcast, Save Your Game, which I will link in the description. If you do give it a try, tell me what you think in the comments, and if you have another indie game you want to see me cover, please drop your suggestions. If you want to find me elsewhere, you can rant and rave at me on Blue Sky, Instagram, OnlyFans, Patreon, Reddit, LiveJournal, Elfwood, Zonga, MySpace, Blogspot, AOL, IRC, ICQ, and of course, MSN Messenger. Until next time, stay spooky and happy sleuthing. Hey everyone, thanks for watching my video on the action-packed game, The Drifter. If you want to see more videos from me, I have plenty, but first, a shout out to my lovely patrons for supporting my adventure game addiction. You're the best enablers a girl could have. Please consider donating a few bucks to support the channel, and if not, do subscribe and comment. Any effort to engage will help these videos reach new audiences. If you want to see more videos from me, here's a few suggestions on the screen. On the right is a game review I did of Prim, a spooky adventure game featuring death, as a character, not a concept. On the left is the last video I did on my flagship series, That Time on Murder, She Wrote. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and as always, I will see you in the next one.